Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Tuesday Museday. I'm Kalani, and we are grooving in what meter and what chord progression. That's your quiz for today. Great to see everybody. Let's say hello. But first, let's bring it back a little bit. All right. Bill Bradley here, nice and early, as usual. Hey, Bill. Charlie's here. Roseanne is here, of course. Hope you're feeling great, or as good as can be. Geneva's here. Who else is here? I'm here. Christina H. Yay! All right, welcome back. And did I say hello to Doug? I'm not sure, but hey, Doug. Sue is here. Richard Bruner's here. My flute buddy. Felix is here. Welcome. Who else? Oh, I saw Cornelius with the orange C. I see it. All right, awesome. And James is here. Welcome, everybody. So this is the 78th Tuesday Museday. It's funny, it came right after the 77th Tuesday Museday, like I figured it would. So I figured since it's the 78th, I would also carry over the 7-8 theme from last week. But we're doing it a little bit different. John is here, welcome. Hey, John. So that's what we're doing. We're doing a little 7-8 vibe and, you know, just kind of a happy, like, La Bamba kind of chord progression. All right, let's go. Sing La Bamba in 7 with me. Bamba, bamba. Let's all just start there. Bamba, ba-da-ba-la-la bamba, 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 ba-da-bamba-ba. Got it? Bamba, ba ba la la bamba, ba ba la la bamba. Yo no soy marinero, soy capitán, capitán, capitán. Capitan, Capitan, la 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 bamba. All right, that is abrupt. I didn't know how else to end. All right, maybe we'll come back to that later. Cool. Welcome everybody. Good to see you all. So let me explain and welcome Sue. And did I miss anybody else? James is here. All right. Welcome. So I decided to break out a few instruments that I just used on a short video. As some of you, and I'm glad you guys were playing along. That's awesome. As some of you may know, I also have an ukulele channel called the Ukulele Club channel. And I also teach ukulele to music educators through Vanderker College of Music. And this summer I'm doing a level 2 course on the ukulele. And one of the assignments, thank you for asking by the way, one of the assignments is to create an ensemble where you incorporate classroom instruments with the ukulele. So you're just integrating it, with some other instruments. So I did an arrangement, a real quick arrangement of Don't Worry, Be Happy. And I used some of the instruments over here, which I'll tell you about in a second. Well, I'll tell you right now. So this is, and now you can just see a little bit of it, but this is a bass xylophone. And this is in the what we call the Orff instruments category. But it's basically a marimba like instrument. I mean, I guess it's a bass xylophone. It's really a marimba, but don't tell the Orff people because they like to say xylophone. But it's got a mid, a mid marimba. Actually, it's not that mid. It's kind of low, but so it has most of these instruments have an octave and a third, so C to A, or C to, what is this one? Yeah, C to A, so octave and 2/3. Anyway, that's what that is. It's just a xylophone. And what's challenging about it is, especially in low light and at this angle, it's sometimes hard to see what the notes are, so I'm just kind of, going for it here and doing the best I can. And then behind that, over here, and I've used these before, but I'll tell you what they are in case you don't know. These are Joya tubes, and you can't see the tube part, but you could see the Joya part. And we use these these paddles It's got neoprene on one side, and you thwack them. They're not the same as, but they do have a similar sound to what the Blue Man Group uses, but they're not exactly the same, a little bit different. But these are open PVC or ABS tubes, and they have a little collar on the top, and you just thwack them, and they make sound based on the tube length. So if you were able to see these, you'd see that they're different tube lengths, and that's how they make the sound. And I'm just using the C diatonic scale right now, but that does come with the chromatic ones over here. And what else did I use? I used this. Anybody got the name of that one? And we use some egg shakers, some bundled eggs here, glued together by yours truly. A whole nest of eggs. Maybe I should call that the nest shaker instead of the egg shaker. The omelet maker. And Cornelius is correct. That is a weirdo. Awesome. Yeah. This one is the weirdo. Let me go back over here. So yeah, this is the weirdo, and Felix also got it. Congratulations. And then I used this block here, right, for the kind of clave. I want to play you guys the clave. I did actually practice a little before I came on today. And I was like, how am I going to do clave in 7/8? I mean, that's a little bit of a, it's a two bar phrase. And yeah, Richard also got Guido. Nice. Sometimes we say Guido. Some people say Guido. I always was taught that the G is kind of silent, like Guido. But I'm not judging. I don't care. You guys call it whatever you want. Let me play you my my clave in 7. All right. So first, let me see what's on here. Okay, so this is the conga pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I think I have the clave here. Ba, 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 ba. So it's kind of a rumba clave. It's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Da, 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 da. I kind of like it. What do you guys think? I kind of like that. So that's what I did, and I chopped just an 1/8 note off of the regular tumbao. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So maybe you guys ought to practice that later, huh? Get at your metronomes and give that a try. It's kind of fun. And whatever instrument you're on, it doesn't have to be percussion, but try playing in 7. Now, there's another reason I wanted to, thanks, Felix. So he said, nice tumbao. So yeah, it's kind of a groove, 7/8 groove, but kind of more like in the salsa vein. So I think that's everything that was going. And then, oh yeah, the chords I was using, which should sound very familiar. Like I said, La Bamba or Twist and Shout. It's actually not La Bamba because it doesn't go back to the 4 chord, but it's close enough. It gives you the same vibe. But I'll just tell you what they were. So I was playing C and F and G7, and then back to F. All right. So that's what was going on there. Yeah, and putting it all together. Let's just listen again, since now you've heard all the parts, and see if you can make them all out here. Here they are. And there's cajon, of course. Boom. Boom, 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 And we had the Native American style flute. This flute I haven't played in a while. This was made by Dan Shelchow at Journey of Life Flutes. And I want to say that Dan was a great guy and a friend, and I bought this flute from him a few years ago, and unfortunately he has since passed to cancer, but he left a really nice legacy, and he's just a wonderful guy. Helped me a lot. Actually, I learned how to make and tune flutes from Dan, so I just want to say thank you, Dan, and this is for you today. So his flutes are Journey of Life flutes. There's a bunch of them around, and you might want to keep your eye out for those if you like the sound of this, or if you want to get, a flute made by Dan Shelchow. All right, we're going to move on. Let me get ready. So I think you guys are going to get this, but I have a multi-part segment for our trademarked feature. So let's do it.
Guess the sound.
Okay. All right. So I want you guys to guess not just one sound today, but 3. All right. So, hold on. All right, I think I can do this. All right, so I got too many things here. Here's the first sound. And this might be kind of hard, but listen carefully. Listen carefully, all right? Here's the first sound. All right? Here is the second sound. All right, and here is the third sound. One, two, three, all right? So let's go backwards. So just put 1, 2, 3. This is 3. This is 2. And you guys can't see over here, right? Okay. And here's 1. You got to listen carefully. It's really subtle. I don't know if it's coming across on the interweb or not, but do your best you can. Do your best you can. All right. Let's see. 1, 2, and 3. What do you guys got? All right. It's okay. It's not 3 güeros, and they're all different. Although it's a little bit of a technicality. Let me. So you guys are close. You guys are getting close. They all start with. No, they don't. Think they're not all Afro-Cuban. All right. One of them is from a different area. I've played it before, and it's made of a plant, and it's not a gourd. I should probably have used a different number 3, but all right, I'm just going to show you because I think Alex is very close and Roseanne is super close. Yeah, I mean Felix. Sorry, Felix is super close. So let me show you. I think it was too hard to actually decipher the sounds. So I'm going to show you what I have. All right, let's see. Let me go back. Okay, so the first one, I know you guys are going to be like, that's not fair. The first one was a güira. I mean, sorry, not güira. The heko heko. The bamboo. And this is more Brazilian. So you'll hear the difference in a second. All right, and then number 2 was the güira. Right? I can clearly hear that, right? And then number 3 was the güiro, the one I just played. But really, I probably shouldn't have used this for the güiro, huh? In this case, if I use this one, then you guys could hear more clearly the difference, I think. So here, let me play this one, just because I have it here. So this would be more of a traditional Afro-Cuban style güiro, right? So as opposed to, right? It's just this, the heko heko has a tighter sound. It's very similar, but it's hard to tell the difference. I'll give that to you. So I think Felix wins because he said güiro, güira, güiro. I think that was Felix. It might have been Roseanne too. I'm not sure. So you guys both win. I don't know. You guys can fight over that. Or maybe we'll just split the points evenly. Okay, so you guys each get 30. I can't do math. 39. Is that right? 39 points for a grand total, right? That would be 78 total. Is that right? I don't know. I don't trust myself to even do simple arithmetic. But you guys could split 78 points, all right? I think it's 39, which isn't bad, all right? It's not bad for a Tuesday. That's a lot of points. That's more than most people are getting right now, I think. All right. So let me get into today's theme, which I think I put. It's all 2's and 3's, right? And let me turn myself up a little. I said it's all 2's and 3's, and why did I say that? Because I just okay, Roseanne confirmed 39 each. Congratulations. I just posted recently this last week the masterclass with Randy Gloss, and he came into the studio last week, and I knew he was going to do something amazing, you guys, and he was just blowing my mind the whole time, because he did something that's so fundamental. And this would apply to anybody. I'll just tell you what it is. I'm not going to try to replicate. All right, Cornelius, have a good night. Thanks for dropping in. He did something that was about rhythm. All right, so I'm just going to give you the quick overview and a little bit of direction if you want to pursue some of this on your own, because you can do this. You don't have to have any special equipment, and it doesn't matter what instrument you play. It's just about being a musician and gaining some facility and skills in the area of rhythm, which is, of course, one of the main, primary areas in music that affects not only, our ability to communicate different meters, of course, but more importantly, what he calls rhythmic shapes, and that relates to styles and genres and also feel. Now, feel, to me, I call that micro timing. There's macro timing, which is just the beat and subdivisions, like following the meter, playing in a meter, like 7/8 or 4/4. That would be the big picture. But then the finer, you can think of it as an accent, right? Like you have an accent when you speak. That would be more like the micro timing or the feel, it's like an accent, right? So when you hear a guitar player that's from Cuba, and they're going to sound different than a guitar player maybe from Spain or from England or from the southern United States or wherever. And that's the kind of thing that's really subtle. But before we get to the micro timing, we can look at macro timing. And one of Randy's teachings in his masterclass video is that really, if you just break everything down into 2's and 3's, you can play, virtually any meter, and meter meaning a phrase, a cycle, right? A meter is a cycle of beats, usually defined by an accent and repetition over a pulse. So if I have a pulse, ding, ding, I don't know what meter I'm in. I don't know what the, is it like dun, do, dun, dee, da, dee, dee, da, or is it dun, ding, dee, dee, dun, ding, dee, dun, or is it dun, dee, 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 dun, dee, 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 dun, dee, 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 dun, beep, 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 bum, beep, 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 bum, beep, 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 what is it? We don't know. So as soon as you add subdivisions and accents, right, and an accent is just an emphasis, dun, dee, 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 dun, dee, dun, dee, dee, dun, dee, 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 dun, dee, dun, dee, dee, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 1, 2, and 3, dun, dee, dee, dun, dee, dee, dun, dee, dee, dun, beam, bum, beep, 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 bum. We have 3, but then on top of that, for example, 3, 4, which is what I was just mainly communicating. 1 and 2 and 3, da dee da dee da dee dun, dee 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 dun, is really 3 sets of 2, right? It's 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 2 2 2 1 2 2 2 3 1 2 dee 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 dee. Now that's one way we can divide up 3 beats, right? We can have 3 groups of 2. Does that make sense? 1 2 1 2 1 2. But I can also have because it's 6. So another way to divide 6, and this is elementary, this is elemental, but it's basic. It's the basic idea, is I can also have 2 groups of 3, right? And that would be different. So if I start with my 1 2 3 1 and 2 and 3, 1 dee dee dun dee dee da dee da dee da dee gun dun 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 boom bum beep 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 bum da dee dun da. Now my pulse is here. Da dee da. I have 2 groups of 3. Bump beep beep bop beep beep bop beep bop beep bop beep bop beep bum beep 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 bum beep 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 bum beep 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 bum beep 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 bum. Right? Totally different feel. Totally different feel. And that's the essence of meter and subdivision, and then getting these shapes. So if the first shape is clearly like a triangle, right? 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. The second shape is more of just a line, right? Dot dee dot dee dot dee dot dee dot dee, or a curve, dot dee dot dee dot dee dot. It's more two-dimensional. Or if we looked at the difference between 3 4 and 4 4, then 3 4 is a triangle and 4 4 is a square, right? Dun dee dun dee dun dee dun dee dun dee dun, or dun 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 dun. All right. Now those are just simple, but what we open with was 7 8, and 7 8 is divisible in a few different ways, right? You can have 2 2's and a 3. 2 2's and a 3. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 which is kind of where I tend to start. That's kind of the 7 8 that I'm most comfortable with. But you can also put the 3 first, right? 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. And what else can you do? You can put a 2 and then the 3 and then another 2, right? So you can put the 3 right in the middle. 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1. Not as common. It's a little bit more difficult to feel that shape, but that's another shape, right? So there's lots of different ways you can subdivide a meter. Each way is different, and that's just a starting place of where Randy started the first half of his masterclass, and he was illustrating that you can, as you're playing and as you're improvising and playing, you can then subdivide the subdivisions so that you could have, for example, and I'm going to try my best right now to do this, but let's say we have a slow 7. Dot dee dot dee dot dee dee dot dee dot dee dot dee dee dot dee dot dee dot dee dee dot dee dot dee dot dee. that could be going on, but then you can also subdivide that into 2 7s. And you could have the bigger rhythm going, subdivide it, and then you can change those 7s, and it's just mind-boggling. It's like a fractal at that point. You can subdivide, and then you can do different versions of the 7. You know, I'm not saying you can do it right now. I'm saying you could work on it and practice and develop the capacity to do that, and you could also do a larger, slower 7. So instead of dot 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, you could do 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 6 7 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. You know, a bigger 7 while the 2 smaller 7s are going on. Does that make sense? So you can move up and down, subdividing beats, and it's just crazy, and it's very liberating and cool. And this is something that any of us can practice. What I would recommend is just start off with something like a 5 or a 7. You know, you don't have to go crazy and do 9s and 11s and 13s, but you could. You could also stick with more common meters like 3 4 6 8 4 4, which is 8 beats, right? But how many ways can you create an 8-beat phrase using 2's and 3's, right? There's several ways. I'll leave that up to you. You can do 12, right? 12 is divisible so many different ways if you just add 2's and 3's together. And so the idea is that you're going to figure that out, and then you're going to use the 2's and 3's and create your own accents in there, and that's like a shape, right? And so you guys can practice those and just keep working with it. And then in the that's only the first half of his masterclass. And then in the second part, he talks about how to do 2 and 3, but at the same time, right, together, which is what we call polyrhythmic. You can call it polymetric, but it's really polyrhythm. So then you can have like a 3 and a 2 at the same time. 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3, right? And then you can also work with those. Is it dot dee dot dee dot, or is it dot dee dot dee dot dee dot dee taka 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 taka? You could subdivide each one of those beats into 2's or 3's or 4's. And again, I think it's super interesting and super fun to work with music that way and work with rhythm. So if you're going to do that, you could call yourself a rhythmatist. That's actually a word. Look it up. You don't have to call yourself a rhythmatist, but a rhythmatist, but you could. All right, so that's it. We're going to move on, and we're going to look at doing our Gimme 5 today, but I just wanted to share that with you, and that Randy's Masterclass is available right now on the Patreon page for courses tier patrons and higher. So if you guys, if you want to, you could sign up for a month, too, at the courses tier, and then you could look at all the courses. There's a whole bunch of stuff over there, and then, you can decide if you want to keep going or not, but it's an option for you. I think what Randy's teaching and sharing is just so amazing and universal and useful, and that's just a real level up, rather than just say, oh, here's like 3 rhythms that you can play. I mean, that's okay, but that doesn't take you farther, right, down the road rhythmically. All right, let's move on and start looking at our
World Drum Club,